This old bitch is ludicrous. Don't you think that you're the reason why your husband is no longer interested in you? No wonder he cheats on you.
That's right. Naomi is much younger and much better than you. Who wants an old woman close to 40?
So, shall we divorce?
Of course, you idiot. File for divorce now. That's an order.
I left them with mixed feelings of despair, revenge, and relief. As I reached into my pocket and grabbed something, a smile came up on my face. Well, goodbye. I'm Della, a 37-year-old housewife. My husband, Levi, is a salesman. I met him through work when I was single. We exchanged business cards and kept strictly a professional relationship at first. From there, dinner invitations gradually increased. Before I knew it, he was contacting me every day. His enthusiastic approach pushed me to become his girlfriend. I knew from a test I took a while ago that it was difficult for me to have a child. My long-time dream of having a happy home with my husband and children was crushed, and I experienced such devastation that I was almost suicidal. Both Levi and my parents were getting to the age when they desired to see their grandchildren. I told them about my condition before they started asking. Both parents were sympathetic. Levi also said, "I want to be with you, Della, no matter what." Those words helped me to overcome the sadness of not being able to have a child. When we got married, we decided to build a fulfilled life for the two of us. 10 years has passed since then. His gentleness of those days were nowhere to be found. We even stopped having meals together. He came home after midnight every night and went to sleep without taking a shower. In the morning, he woke up just in time to go to work. "Are you going to be late again today?"
Yeah, I have to work late.
On his days off, he usually went out to play golf with his clients. When we had planned to go out together for the first time in a while, he cancelled at the last minute, saying that he had received an invitation from his best client. I was just a housewife who wanted to support him achieving his career goal. However, by this time, we barely spoke a word to each other. At such times,
"Tomorrow is your birthday, isn't it? Let's go out to dinner for a change."
I was really surprised by his unexpected suggestion. It was also the 10th year of our marriage and a milestone. I was happy to know that even though he was busy, he still cared about me. We decided to meet at a restaurant where we used to go to together. The next day, I put more effort into my outfit and makeup than usual and headed to the restaurant I reserved. Where is he? When the appointed time came, Levi was nowhere to be seen. He didn't respond to my calls and texts. Around the time I was getting uncomfortable with the glances from the waiter, I finally received a call from him.
"Sorry, I can't make it tonight."
"Are you serious?"
"I'm sorry. I still have work to finish. See you later."
I was stunned when he hung up on me. What a birthday. I felt bad for the restaurant, but I lost my appetite from feeling empty and humiliated and left the place. Levi came home past midnight as usual. I was lying in the bed, but my mind was strangely clear and I could not fall asleep. Normally, I acknowledged him, but I feel like I would explode with emotion if I opened my mouth. I pretended to be asleep. He took off his suit and crawled into bed without taking a shower. That night too, he reeked of alcohol and the scent of perfume. It was the smell that had been on him for a while. As he slept peacefully, I recalled the conversation I had with a friend. "I've decided to get a divorce." "What?" When I met up with her for a coffee, she confided in me. The cause was her husband's infidelity. He comes home late every night, smelling of alcohol and perfume. I know he's cheating on me. Indeed, he was cheating on her. She found out for sure and immediately filed for divorce. I realized that Levi and I were in the same situation. When I asked him about the night before in the morning, he nonchalantly brushed me off, saying I was busy. I kept pressing on him, but I'm going to be late for work, and rushed out. I called my friend and asked her for advice. That's definitely cheating. It's unforgivable. Hearing that, I started simmering with anger. I was mad at not only Levi, but went out every night and didn't even try to have a conversation with me, but also at myself. Even thought our marriage had long cooled off, I pretended not to notice. I still don't have any solid proof that he's cheating on me. My friend referred me to a private investigator whom she used to build her case. I decided to do the same. The fee was quite expensive, but I considered it as a cost to move forward. I paid it out of my savings, and in no time, I was presented with proof of the affair. The photos show Levi and a young woman walking arm in arm like lovers. They were shopping at a designer's brand boutique and dining at an upscale French restaurant. Then there were photos of them going into a hotel. The woman in the pictures was a college student called Naomi. She was 15 years younger than him. She worked as a bartender in the restaurant near Levi's office. He was a regular there, and there was how they met. He supposedly fell in love with her at first sight. There were pictures of them drinking heavily at the bar. I knew he was cheating on me. He came home late, didn't eat at home, and smelled of alcohol and perfume. It all made sense. The more I looked at the evidence, the clearer it became that he was spending a lot of money to be with her. Where did all this money come from? I checked online banking in haste. He had taken money out of the retirement savings to finance his affair. There was hardly any money left in the account. I fell to my knees. I can't believe I've been with such an idiot for 10 years. Fury came up from deep inside me. He chose his selfish desire over the future of our marriage. The moment I realized it, I decided to divorce him. I became clear-headed from that point on. I knew that even if I confronted him with the evidence, he would come up with excuses. It was the best to catch him in action. I remember that he mentioned an urgent business trip on Sunday. Old me would have said, "Have a safe trip, good luck," and send him off, but not anymore. My intuition was telling me that he was going to meet up with his lover. I picked up his tablet, took a breath, and typed in his birthday. He was so careless that he came home reeking of perfume, and that his affair was proven in a matter of seconds. It was easy to guess the password. He was not only careless, but a moron. I unlocked it and looked for some information. There were no messaging apps, and I couldn't find any communication with his lover. I found confirmation of an Airbnb booking in his email though. I immediately recognized the famous glamping site and noted the cabin number he had reserved. The day of booking was the Sunday. He was supposed to have a business trip. He'd better watch out. I was determined to confront him on that day. Sunday arrived.
I don't know what time I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay, have a safe drive. I said, "See you later," in my mind. Oblivious to what was stored in his immediate future, he left the house cheerfully. I made careful preparation and headed out to the place. The cabin looked bigger and more modern than it looked on the internet. He had never taken me to such a chic place. I felt even angrier. I went to Levite and Naomi's cabin and knocked on the door.
Yes? Who is it?
I'm sorry to bother you, but I need to check your smoke detector. May I come in? Levite opened the door without any suspicion. He was stunned when he saw me standing in front of him. While he was trying to grasp the situation, I forced myself into the back. I opened the thick curtain that divided the lounge area and bedroom and found Naomi sitting on the bed. She seemed to recognize who I was. Why are you here? She was in shock. I know you guys were looking forward to a fun trip, but it's too bad.
How did you know where I was?
I explained the sequence of events. He came home late every night, the smell of alcohol and perfume, and the investigation. I told him that I checked his tablet and found out his business trip was a lie.
You've been suspicious?
Of course. Ever since my birthday, you have cancelled our dinner. We're done. While we were arguing, Naomi shrieked in laughter. I am amused, Mrs. Have you ever thought that maybe you're the reason he's not interested in you? No wonder he wants to cheat on you.
Yeah, that's right. Naomi's much younger and much better than you. Who wants an old bitch close to 40?
They turned defiant and began to mock me. I tried to hold back my hand from slapping him. Shall we get a divorce then? I took out the pile of divorce papers my lawyer had drafted. He snatched it from my hand. Well, goodbye. I left the cabin. Once I was outside, I put my hand in my pocket. I stopped the recorder that had been recording our conversation. Mission accomplished. I removed my name from the joint tenancy agreement and changed everything else to Levi's name, and then returned to my parents' house. I had asked my brother's friend, who worked in the law firm, to take care of my divorce. He was also my brother Aiden's lawyer. Aiden was running his own business. When he graduated from university, he established a company under the guidance of our father. When I went to work for a major corporation, my father had a big influence on us as we were a family of old money. Even so, we had never experienced a luxurious lifestyle. There was an inherent feud in our grandfather's generation that threatened to destroy the whole family. After my father became the head, they began to live simpler and more solid lives. Aiden and I respected our father very much. So, even after we became independent, we'd been following his teachings and living humbly. Spending money for one's personal greed was absolutely unthinkable. I informed Aiden about the divorce.
A man who doesn't value his family is the worst.
He was indignant. I explained the whole story and mentioned Naomi's name.
I've heard that name before. Maybe.
He then called his HR. Naomi's surname was unusual, so it must have sounded familiar. When he inquired, to our surprise, she had received a job offer from his company. She was apparently very enthusiastic during the interview, saying, "Your company is my first choice." I played him the audio I had recorded at the cabin.
We don't want someone like her in our company. It's nothing related to family matters. She obviously lacks common sense as a member of society.
He immediately called back HR and instructed them to rescind the job offer. A few days later, I was still living with my parents while searching for a job. When I returned home from my interview, I saw the police car live in my house. I asked my parents what had happened and found out that Naomi showed up there. "Offer from my dream job was taken away!" She screamed and threw things in the house. She grabbed my mother and demanded to know where I was, so my father called 911. When she was contacted by Aiden's HR to cancel her job offer, she realized that Aiden and I were siblings. She became hysterical and stormed into my parents' house, claiming that it was my fault. The police subdued her and took her to the station. My parents told the police to just give her a stern warning. When her parents went to pick her up, they told her that she was on her own from then on. They were apparently fed up with their daughter, who caused problems on a regular basis. She lost a job that was lined up for her after graduation and was abandoned by her parents. She became homeless and had to drop out of school. As for Levi, his biggest client was my father's company, which canceled all the contracts. When he found out about it, the blood drained from his face and he fainted. Rumor spread throughout his office, and his colleagues began to look at him with disdain. He had lost his place in the company and resigned voluntarily. There was no way he could quit his job and maintain his existing lifestyle because of the alimony he owed me. He gave up his apartment and moved into a cheaper place. He then tried to rely on Naomi, who kept a bartending job. They got into a heated argument at the restaurant, and the police were called. Naomi wanted nothing to do with him after that. He then began to ambush me around my house. "It was my fault. Please, come back." "What are you talking about now? Stop showing up here." He demanded that we get back together and followed me around like a stalker. When I began to feel unsafe, the one who helped me was James. He was Aiden's PA and our childhood friend. He really put an effort to protect me by patrolling around my house and escorting me. One day, I was walking with James when Levi appeared again.
Who the hell is this guy?
"None of your business."
What does he have that I don't have? Come back to me.
When he grabbed my arm, James quickly shook off his hand and, with a brilliant move, he threw Levi off of the ground. James was a judo grandmaster. He worked as a PA and also served as a bodyguard at Aiden's company. Some girls in the neighborhood witnessed the scene. "Who was that? A stalker? Ew! That move was awesome. I got a good video. I'm sure it's gonna go viral." They were laughing and filming the scene. Levi's face flushed as red as traffic light, and he ran away. He totally deserved it. The guy, who preferred younger women to me, was being ridiculed by them. It was ironic, I thought. I gradually became interested in James after that incident. I eventually found a new job and started dating him at the same time. James told me that he had a crush on me when we were younger. Aiden knew about it, so he was eager to help me expedite my divorce proceedings. It wasn't long before James and I were married. Aiden had always thought about James as his little brother. When we announced our engagement, he was exhilarated that James was becoming family. He was more excited than my father and congratulated us. I promised myself that I would always cherish those who love me.